Okay, new project. This is an apple in a cellophane paper, and it's really a good project for transparency and values. So the first thing we're going to do is we primed the canvas in burnt umber, and now we're going to add more layers of burnt umber, cadmium red light, bit of black, and titanium buff for highlights. We'll see if we need to do that. And then we will trace the cellophane or draw the cellophane after. So I just put an apple here, the size of the apple, so I can gauge where my darks are going to be and where my lights are going to be. And I might lose that the apple, but that's okay. I'll put it back. And I have a kind of a wide brush for the background. So I'm going to start with, let's see, with the top part. I'm going to take burnt umber. So I put this here so I can see.
What?
No, nothing. And then I'm going to add a little bit of black to my burnt umber. So I'm going to go darker here. It's nice to have that dark in there in the background. There's a lot of, let me see if I can remove this so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Take a little bit more of black, dip it in burnt umber. It will dry darker. It's good to have a dark color in the background so you can see the cellophane paper. We can work with the cellophane paper and it will look really very nice once we start adding color. So now I'm going to take more of the burnt umber and black, put it here. And because I'm working with a big brush, I cover fast. I'm covering the...
Let me see the brush. Okay.
So I think 1 inch.
Yeah. I have.
Okay. So right here now, at this point, I'm going to take red, mix it with black. Yeah, good.
Oh, red with black.
And even if it has a bit of burnt umber, because the red in there is very small amount, but it's kind of, you can see it. It's very subtle. It's not heavy. It's not big. It's not strong. Again, maybe a little bit on this side as well. And I'm going to take more of the burnt umber. The black and mix it. This is blending very nicely. So nice, good, excellent. Let's take a bit more. Okay, now for the bottom part, I'm going to take black, just try black and red. This is a bit of titanium buff. Light is coming from the left. Now dark. Go back to the dark color. Now behind the apple on this side, it's dark. Because the apple, if the light is coming from the left, the apple is casting a shadow on the surface of the table.
Just black?
Black with a bit of burnt umber in it. And then I'm adding in the back right there where there's light, right here, I'm adding a bit of titanium buff with red and burnt umber. Let's put a bit of more highlight on the left. Don't forget that once we start painting the cellophane, this is where the light is going to be. Mostly, it's not on the ground or where the apple is sitting. It's mostly where it's on the cellophane itself, of course, and part of the apple. Okay, that's enough. All right, that's good enough. I'm going to stop and we'll come back. All right, for the apple, I have sap green here, cadmium red light, and cadmium yellow light. So I'm going to take cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, and I'm going to add it to the sap green, and I'm going to paint this part here that is in the shadow area. Touch of cadmium red light, not much. Otherwise, you will change the sap green. Yeah, you'll change the color into dark. Okay, so dark brown even. The part that is important is the cellophane. So I don't want to work on the apple too much. just enough to get a nice shape and highlights, so we can so the cellophane looks interesting. This is the core where the apple is, here at this point. Now I'm going to start highlighting, so I'm going to take just sap green and cadmium yellow light, touch very small amount of red, very small amount, like with the corner of your brush, just kind of like this. That's it. Don't overdo it, because again it will go it will tone down the color. I'm always nervous with light, using light color right away, light paint. I like to.
Is this just yellow?
Yellow and
sap green?
Yes, and a very small amount of red, touch like this, with the corner of your brush, touch. Okay.
The opening is not in the center.
No, it's on the side. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take my sap green, darker. All right, darker, same, with the same colors I'm using. And we're going to do more. So I'm going to take again sap green only and go over the dark part I did before and push that color in. And we will highlight again.
The sap green, what name is, brand name is, Leo?
Liquitex.
Okay.
this part of the apple on this side is darker because the light is coming from the left. So once you get to this part, it needs to go darker here. So I'm using sap green with a bit of red to darken this area more than here, more than the left. The right side of the apple is darker than the left. All right, now I'm going to take, I still have a bit of titanium buff. Clean my brush, pick up some sap green, cadmium red light, cadmium yellow light, titanium buff. Now I'm highlighting. Technically, I should wait a bit before I start with the strong highlight because I don't want the acrylic to lift, but I'm just taking a chance right now. I'm not really kind of paying too much attention to making the apple look realistic. Yeah, because it's not about the apple, it's about the cellophane. So apple is just a kind of a bonus at this point, just to give the whole painting an interesting look.
Are you using white also?
I used a bit of titanium buff.
Oh, buff. Okay, because
Titanium
I
buff.
said mine is going not so.
Yes. So use a titanium buff for the highlights. I should just give it a bit of time to dry, for one layer to dry before I do the highlights, but it's okay. I'm just gonna keep going now. I'm gonna change my brush and use a round one for the core.
Round one? Yes, yes.
Sap green. Let's use a tiny bit of It keeps drying darker, but it's okay, just because it's on a dark background. I'm going to highlight a bit, especially on this side.
This is more yellow? Or
Actually, it's yellow and green and titanium buff.
titanium buff?
Yeah. It almost needs a more of a glazing to make it look good. More, not heavy paint, just glaze the paint on. And for that, I need to wait for it to dry. I need to wait for the paint to dry before I glaze over. Just softening the transition between the dark and light with just a bit of sap green with yellow, sap green and yellow. Okay. Okay. Now there's a stem inside, and
the dark part is what kind of green?
dark part is right here. It's sap green with red. It's mostly sap green and red, but a little bit of red, not much. And actually, it's drying very dark, so take a bit of yellow as well, but sap green and red. Yes.
And the whole?
It's sap green and red. And then all around the sap green and red, on the left side, which is right here, oops, sorry. On the left side, it's more of sap green. Over here, it's sap green and red. And here it's sap green, right there.
Are you
recording?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I will stop recording in a minute. I just want to, what I'm trying to do right now is just kind of blend, a soft blend, if I can, between a nice kind of soft transition between the dark part and the light part.
Yes.
In this case, the more layers I put, the nicer it looks.
Yes.
But again, it's not about the apple. It's about the what's wrapping, the wrapping.
Still, there's the apple to be
Nice.
And nice shape.
I'm gonna let it dry before I put another layer. But I just need to darken a little bit the side. Having the dark side helps with the cellophane when we put the cellophane on. I'm going to see if I can add the stem at this point, or if I should wait. I think I can add the stem.
Where's the stem?
There's a stem in there. You can see a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we need to put it though.
I like it.
You like to put it?
It's going to make more
All right.
trouble.
No. It should be okay. We'll try. I mean, I can mix red and green and I'll get brown. But I'm going to use a bit of burnt umber. I'm just adding white slowly to the burnt umber. A bit of highlights. Again, I don't want the stem to show too much because this is
the color between around the fall. What color?
Sap green.
Just sap green.
Yes. And if you find that the sap green is too dark, put a bit of add a bit of yellow, touch of yellow. If you find it too dark. I'm just waiting for it to dry, and I want to put a highlight in a light green for a strong light in here, right there. But again, probably not, because again, I don't want any highlight to interfere with the cellophane when we put it on top, when we start adding the cellophane on top. So I'm gonna leave it right just like that for now, and then we'll see once it's dry if I need to tweak it, but for now it's fine. Okay, so we're done for this week. We will work on it more and start adding the cellophane paper next week.